because sorry about that. Sorry. There was all kinds of things going off. Welcome to 2024. You're back with Paxton Road TV. I'm Sam Spurs for Life, and this is Talking Points, episode number 114. What is it about today? What we're going to be talking about today? A bit unorganised, as you can see. There we go. Transfers, FA Cup, half-time report. Spurs play tonight. Is it going to be same old Spurs for 2024? Is it something new? We're on a high trajectory. And enough chatting. It's Talking Points.
It's just different.
Yes, we're back, people. 2024. I'm in the house with my esteemed colleagues, guests, friends, family, the rest of what you want to call them. And it's in the wrong order. Don't like that. It does my head in. There we go. It does my head in. Sid, Darius, welcome. I guess we've got a few things to talk about. FA Cup round 3 today. We're at home to Burnley. Obviously, transfer window's open. We've got the maestro in here, Sid Spurs, as you know what I mean. He used to do all the transfers. Since we don't do that many transfers really in the last few years, we ain't done that many shows. But it's going to be interesting to see whether or not this month brings us. We all know what we need. Potentially, we've got some incomings. Potentially, we've got some new players coming back in terms of injuries. I've heard that Manuel Solomon might be back sometime soon. I just hope that we get our centre-backs back. Anyway, enough of me talking about getting my mic on the phone in the right place. Darius, how's it going? What you telling me?
It's going good, to be fair. I mean, Happy New Year to you guys. Good way to start the year, I think, for Spurs in terms of results. And I think we're looking on our way up. Very much looking forward to talking about the 3 topics that we're going to talk about today, because I do feel like a half-time report, especially for this season and our first season under Ange Postecoglou, is quite important. And looking at, you know, the results and who we've played, who we've beaten, who we've lost to, the injuries, the players who have played well, is going to be very, very interesting. So I hope you guys are doing all right. I think that we're in for an exciting second half to the season. So what better way to watch the season and go through the season with my Paxton people and in the comments and you guys.
Yes, nice one. Well, you can see, people, I've been in a dressing gown the last few times. This is not actually pajamas. This is actually just an oversized tracksuit, but it's very cozy, very comfy, and I like it. So that's my way now. I'm going to be coming all cozy, like Darius used to do when he used to wear that hooded dressing gown, and Sean went and bought one off the back.
It's not too bad to wear at the moment. Needs to go in the wash.
Sid, you're wearing Adidas. What's going on, fam?
Nothing, man. Nothing. It's all good. It's all good. It's going to be interesting. Because I'm going to the game today. So we was actually, me and my son were trying to debate what the team lineup was going to be, and it's quite some interesting players in positions and stuff like that. A couple of things we were obviously clear on, but it's the defense one where he's got his ideas. In terms of transfers, like I said it on the group, guys, I'm done with the transfers for this month, because unfortunately, as much as everybody wants to hear it, it's already happening, already started again about, yes, we want to bring straight in. And it's already started. Everything's signed, sealed. Everything's ready. But have we got the player? No, we haven't. So, guys, buckle yourself in, because we'll talk about the transfers and what I think anyway. But
I think we should start off. Sorry, Sid. I think we should start off with the game. Let's start off with, because you're obviously going to the game today. Yeah. Let's start off with that. We ain't doing a prop. I'll take this. You know what I mean? Although I could have it on, it's a little bit much. Yeah, the game today. Burnley, 3rd round of the FA Cup. When people talk about Spurs and the FA Cup, they usually think about Spurs and with fond memories. We haven't won this since 1991, by the way. So that should put into context exactly how long it's been since we won this FA Cup. And at that point, we'd won it, I think, the most at that time. Since then, Arsenal have gone on, Man United have gone on to better our record. So I think...
Oh, has he got it on? Oh, that is so funny.
He went and got one on. He saw the comment. Juice gave him the comment, and he went and he said, "I'm gonna match," and he has done. Paxton Road TV hoodie. The game today, Burnley. Let me start with you, Darius. Firstly, do you think it's going to be a changed lineup? Have we got many changes we can make? What do you think Burnley are going to do? How do you think they're going to look at this game, and what do you want as the result? I know obviously a win, but would you take a replay, or do you not want a replay at all? What's your thoughts?
I'll be honest with you. We really, really, really need to go for this. I don't think there's any excuse. I think Ange learned his lesson against Fulham earlier on in the season, and to do it again would be very naive. I know I've been calling for youngsters and whatever, but if it's needed, play them. Don't just play them for the sake of playing them. So I personally want to see his best squad, what he would play against Burnley in the Premier League. So it's hard to see where he's going to go, because I don't exactly know who's out and who's not playing. Is Son's available, if I'm not mistaken?
Son's not available.
Son's not available.
I thought he was gone. Bisuma's gone.
I thought that I read that Son was going to be available today.
First of January, he went.
So he's gone. So this is a thing now. Okay. So that opens a lot of avenues for which way he's going to approach this squad wise anyway. So I have no idea. I'm looking at the squad right now. You're probably going to expect from a forward sort of perspective, what, Brennan Johnson, Richarlison, and a toss-up of Kulusevski or Hill.
It's got to be Kulu, isn't it?
So Kulu drops back up front, and then who plays in midfield then? Are you starting Bentancur?
I think you have to. Now? I think you have to. Because I think you have to play as strong a team as you can, because I've seen some of Postecoglou's press conference, and he's already said he takes every game seriously. He wants to win every game. He wants to win as many competitions as he can, and that's including the Premier League. Now, obviously, people say that that's too far. Yeah, it probably is a stretch too far this season, but he's certainly going to go for it, and we're certainly in the race. Whether we stay in the position and get to a position where we're closer in this race later on down, I don't know. But at this moment in time, I'm trusting Postecoglou what he says. So I'm assuming that we're going to go strong today.
Yeah. I think it'll be Bentancur, Skip, and Lo Celso.
Yeah, my thoughts are, I think the defense. Now, the thing I'm thinking of is this is talk about Van der Ven. Now, he said Van der Ven's back in training, potentially could be available today. I think he'll be on the bench today just to show that he's fit. Targeting that Man United game on Sunday. Next week, Sunday, for me, is a big game. Today's a big game, but if you think about it, we're being at home. As I said, the same thing about Bournemouth. Bournemouth on an incredible, crazy winning streak. They came to ours. It's just that home factor. And I think that's now kicking in a little bit more after our 3 losses that we had. And I don't think Burnley are going to play a strong team. What do you see Burnley's approach being? And welcome, Pav, SVP. Is it SVP? Sometimes. No, SPV. Sometimes
no, PVP. Positive. Oh, yeah. SPVP, yeah. Super positive, Pav.
She's sometimes positive, Pav. That's what she used to be. But anyway, Darius, going back to the point, Burnley, how's their approach? Is this going to be Vincent Kompany saying, I'm saving my players for the league to stay up, or is there an opportunity?
I don't know. For me personally, if I'm Burnley, I don't think I'm going full strength, because financially, and I know you're going to talk about, you know, the legacy and the prestige of the FA Cup, but you've got to be realistic. Burnley are fighting right now, and I don't think for them a run in the FA Cup is worth it, because I don't think they're going to get that far. They'll probably go out, 5th round, maybe get a quarterfinal if they have a good, decent run. So for me, unless they beat us, which will probably give them a bit of momentum to maybe go further, I don't think Burnley really are going to be bothered, whereas we are going to take it very, very seriously. So, and it's at home as well for Tottenham. So it's a tough game for Burnley. I don't really think they're going to see any way of winning. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful at all. I'm just looking at it from their season, their current standing in the league. I just don't really see how, you know, Burnley are going to say, you know what, we can really win this FA Cup, and how much is that going to benefit them in the long standing if they go on and potentially lose a couple players to injury, and then, you know, go back down into the Championship. We don't know. I personally think they're not going to play their strongest squad.
Okay, let me just give you this, and this helped this with the context for you, Sid, because the next is talking about in terms of Burnley, because I think because the way that things have worked out over the last, I'd probably say 10, 15 years, you could probably say that the FA Cup has lost a bit of its shine because of the importance of the top 4 Champions League. Now, there's some things I think that we could do, and we'll probably talk about it a little bit. But what I wanted to do is just go through the list of the last 24 years, since 2000, who've won the FA Cup. So I'm just going to say from 2000, and it's all the way up till present day. So Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal, Manchester United, Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, Portsmouth, Chelsea, Manchester City, Chelsea, Wigan, Arsenal, Manchester United, Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester City, Arsenal, Leicester City, Liverpool, Manchester City. 3 teams in there that are not so-called top 6 or big 6 teams. To me, that suggests that the FA Cup is not going to be won by a lower placed team if the big teams take it seriously. So for Burnley, yeah, they could make the 4th round. Yeah, they could make the 5th round. They could make even up to the semi-finals. The likelihood of them winning it is unlikely. The prize money available for winning the FA Cup is not even close to the amount of staying in the Premier League. And that's the problem we've got now with this competition. I personally would love to win the FA Cup this season. But I think we've seen in the past, it's not been a priority. Managers have come out and said it's not been a priority. I hated when Poch came out and said things about the domestic cups, whether that was because he just thought he's better than he was, and he's now gone off and seen what that is. Because Chelsea are in the semi-final of the bloody Carabao Cup. Don't forget that. So Poch ain't that silly anymore. How seriously do you think we should take this in? And I mean, as in, not just from our fans' perspective, because I know how much you want to win a trophy and how much I want to win a trophy. Now, Darius is obviously the younger generation, and we've talked about this before, as in Champions League being, I guess, a benchmark for building on a team. What's your, I guess, where do you sit in all of that in terms of silverware or progression in terms of top 4?
If you listen to Postecoglou's interview yesterday, and they asked him all these questions, all of them, and they said to him about the cup, and he said the FA Cup is probably one of the most prestigious cup he has.
Uh-oh.
Hello? Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, Sid.
Uh-oh, Sid.
Oh,
you're back.
Oh,
You're
he's
back.
back.
I don't know what happened there. He said every game he wants to play, he wants to win. And he's won cups at Celtic. He wants to win at Spurs. Now, he learned his lesson versus Fulham, right? But then when they asked him that question, he said, well, we only got beat on penalties. So, you know, it is what it is. But I think he wants to win. He wants to win the cup. He said it the other day. He still thinks he's in the top 4. They're in the 3 points behind Man City, Liverpool, whoever, to win, and they're in the league. So he said, we're not out of it. We're only 3 points behind. So I think his mentality is we're going to win every single game. I don't care what it is, what cup it is. If it's the league, we're going to win every single game. Burnley's perspective, I disagree with you, Darius. I think they're gonna go out, because if you listen to Vincent Kompany's interview a couple of days ago, he did say he couldn't have asked for a better draw. He says Tottenham would have been, you know, it's perfect for me. I don't mind that game. He says we'll go there. Okay, their FA Cup away games, they've played 15 away games in the FA Cup. They've only won 3 times away. And I think the last time they beat Spurs, 1983, 4-1. So, but is what it is. It's the FA Cup. It's the beauty of the FA Cup. Anything can happen. So I think Burnley come tonight. They put what's happening in the Prem to the back burners for the time being, because this is the FA Cup. And like you said, Sam, anything can happen. Wigan won the FA Cup, remember, against all the odds. So lower club, well, not lower clubs, I mean teams like Burnley and them, they've got a good chance. Fulham are in the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup, right? So Burnley, I think, will be coming out today to play us. They'll probably look at that and think, you know what, Spurs haven't got Son, they haven't got Sarr, they haven't got Basuma, they've got Van de Ven missing, Romero's not playing. He's probably thinking, we've got a good chance, because look at the flip side, they might be thinking Spurs might concentrate on Man United next week. So this might be an ideal opportunity for us to go to Tottenham and shake things up a little bit and test them. who knows? They've got nothing to lose, like you said, Darius. They're concentrating on the Prem. They've got nothing to lose. They can come there, they can attack us, beat us, or they can come to us, get battered. Either way, they're not bothered. So I think it's going to be a tough game, and I think Burnley are not going to come there to be rolled over tonight.
Right. Let me just add some context a bit to this, because there's this. We've all got a winter break. Supposedly, it's kind of like a week between each Premier League game. Some is happening from this weekend, and then it's 2 weeks on. We've got a game next weekend, and then ours is a 2-week break. So we play effectively the 14th and then the 30th or 31st, whatever it would be. I just want to look what Burnley's doing, because I think that might make a difference. If Burnley have got their break, as in they play in a couple of weeks' time, somebody look like one of you guys. If you don't
Sam,
mind.
everyone's the same. Everyone plays this week in the FA Cup.
Yeah, but then some of them.
No, everyone plays next weekend.
God, I'm sure that
everyone plays next weekend, and then I'm looking at it now. I'll tell you now. So Burnley's fixtures are: they play Luton on Monday, the 15th of Jan, and then Manchester City on the 31st of Jan. So every team plays next weekend, and then every team then plays week beginning.
No, Sid. So on the 20th, so next weekend, Chelsea, Fulham, Newcastle City, Everton, Villa, Man U, Tottenham, Burnley, Luton. So they play next weekend.
Yeah.
And then there's
the weekend after, Arsenal, Crystal Palace, Brentford, Forest, Sheffield, West Ham, Bournemouth, Liverpool.
And the reason I said that is because Arsenal play Liverpool this weekend.
Yeah. So there's 10 teams playing next weekend. 10 teams playing weekend after.
I thought that.
Then
they split it.
on the 30th to 31st, or 30th to the 1st of Feb, every team plays.
My bad.
So this is what I'm saying about this weekend.
Burnley play this weekend. If that's what you're asking, Sam. Burnley are one of this weekend's teams against Luton. So big game, like Burnley v Luton. Come on,
Burnley v Luton. So for me, Burnley v Luton, as much as we want to talk about the FA Cup and the joys, and I just read to you all the winners of the FA Cup. Now what I'm going to do is read to you the runners-up, and this is since 2000 as well. So again, just looking at who's made the final: Aston Villa, Arsenal, Chelsea, Southampton, Millwall, Man United, West Ham, Manchester United, Cardiff City, Everton, Portsmouth, Stoke City, Liverpool, Manchester City, Hull City, Aston Villa, Crystal Palace, Chelsea, Manchester United, Watford, Chelsea, Manchester United. So again, there's a few teams that are lower position teams, as in not in a big six. But looking at that primarily, it's a big six competition. If we really look at it in that sense, I don't see Burnley coming to the Spurs ground with a view to saying we're going to win the FA Cup. What I would say is Vincent Kompany may use this game to play some other players, potentially to see what he's like for his squad. Because I think that next week's game against Luton is more important. That's just my thoughts. Any different views on that? What's your thoughts on that, Darius? In terms of how, because the Burnley thing is important to me, because again, we're at home, and I always state this: you're at home, you have the advantage in a cup competition where I think we should be going for it. We should be trying to win this trophy. I don't care what anybody says. Forget the top four business. That will come as part of what we do in our football. We know that. We've seen the players. But to win a trophy in his first year, man.
I think personally, knowing that they play in Luton as well, I think you can't lose that game. And if I'm looking at the Premier League table, I mean, Burnley are currently 19th on 11. Luton have a game in hand above them in 18th on 15. They beat Luton. They're 2 points off Everton in 17th. I think that game's way too big for Burnley to... And I'm not saying they're not going to play their strongest squad. They might do, but I really doubt they will, because to them, it is such a important financial thing to stay in the Premier League. And I'm not saying that's a good thing. I want to win a trophy. My stance has changed sort of on this whole topic, because I think Ange Postecoglou needs to create a winning mentality. I think he can. But boy, I'm being so serious when I tell you this. Burnley need this win against Luton. That will, if Luton go, 7 points clear of Burnley, that's distance. And the wins don't come by very often in the Premier League when you're a Burnley and a Luton and a Sheffield United. So I'm going to stick by what I said. I think, you know what, we won't even realise they're playing a weakened squad, because we don't even know half of Burnley. I don't know half of Burnley's strongest squad, to be honest with you. I see them change a lot. I know that I'm doing's quite a good player. Koleosho is a good player. I actually don't mind Foster who's up front. He's had a bit of a goal drought, but certain players I think might not play. I don't see certain players playing. Trafford might start their keeper, but again, if he gets injured, who are they going to play? And he's been quite an important part of their team in terms of, you know, building from the back and how they like to play. So it's going to be difficult.
Sid, you said that you think they're going to go strong. You still think they're going to go strong as in their very, very strongest team? Or because I think there has to be changes, but surely, what do you think is going to be their approach? Strong team, try to win the game, or as I keep thinking, to see who's got that mentality for that next week's game? Because Larry said next week's game is a 6-pointer.
I honestly feel, right, what's his name's not playing, right? Sanderberg is suspended, so he won't be playing, right? I still think they've got enough players in there, i.e. they've got Rodriguez, they've got Brownhill. So I don't think he's not going to not go for it. I think, yes, Darius, next week is a massive, massive game for them, right? Against Luton Town. However, I think Burnley will they won't put out a weakened side. I think Vincent Kompany will put out a team that he thinks will be capable of coming to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and give Spurs a game, potentially maybe if they won't beat them. Because I disagree in the fact that they'll want a cup run, because at the end of the day, a club like Burnley, they need money. So the further you go in the FA Cup, it's money, not only from TV coverage, also gate receipts. So they'll want as much money as possible. I don't think they're going to tonight's game thinking, let's go there, just turn up and go back home and then concentrate on next week's game. No. Vincent Kompany is not one of these managers that sits back and thinks, you know what, I'll prioritize that. He, like Postecoglou, wants to win every game. He's an upcoming manager. He wants to prove himself. So I think Trafford will play. I think he'll go as strong as he can with what he's got. Maybe one Foster or somebody like that, maybe not play. But I think Burnley are not coming here just to rest. I think they're coming to play a game. And I'm sorry, Darius, but I disagree. I think they're going to come out and I think they're going to play a decent team. I think they will. Right.
We've got some disagreements, and that's not a problem because, as I said, we'll see today. And we'll see what the priorities are. And we'll see what Postecoglou's priorities are as well, because I've got this sneaky feeling that he thinks, and it's right to think that because of what we've seen in that little clip that we talked about last time we was on together. He's in with a shout. He's in with a shout of pushing. Again, I'm careful with my words here after last year's clip up that I got, but I'm going with the manager's kind of like, what's the words I'm looking for? His mentality, his sort of like beliefs, his sort of attitude that he's given, and he's quietly confident. He says the right things all the time. If we get a few players back, and this is the last bit on this, and we'll get into the predictions. I think he's got to play one of them defensive players that we haven't seen play yet this game. I really do, and not because I'm saying about a weakened team. No, I get all that, but Van der Ven is almost there. We've all talked about, and this next section of this podcast is going to be about transfers. I don't think we're getting nobody. I don't think there's Dragosan or anybody else is coming to Spurs apart from our loanees. I see Tanganga possibly coming back. There's already talk about Spence coming back. I mean, no regulars back.
He's back. Spence is back.
Here we go. So Spurs have already got 3 players potentially coming back who we know have played before, and they have some doubts about them. There's certainly doubts about Reguilon, although he went to Manchester United. There must be doubts about Spence because he's been loaned out. Nobody's trusted him since he's been here. And Tanganga, I don't know. I really don't know. So
I'm sorry, but you've forgotten a player.
Who?
You've forgotten. No, Scarlett's back. You've forgotten. Come on.
Roden?
Sponsored by a certain fast food franchise.
Oh, fuck.
Oh,
no. We're not.
Is he coming back as well?
We're not talking about that.
Yep.
We can't talk about that. That irritates me because you know what? Postecoglou he had so much faith. He actually said to everybody he's got a chance. He said about Ndombele, talented player, this, that. And then he didn't say anything more. Once he seen him training, I heard him say nothing else about, not even to say, like he talks about Dyer. Yeah, it's up to Dyer, what you doing, mate, blah, blah, blah. Dyer's a good player, he's professional. He didn't say nothing about it. You can look. I've tried. There's nothing. And Ndombele just got, oh, shit. He's not playing for this team.
Said put him up for sale ASAP.
He's got to go. But what I'm thinking is, how does that affect the dynamics? Postecoglou, again, going by his word, everybody's part of the squad, mate.
No.
Everybody trains together, mate. But you can't have players like that just coming back into the squad and training. It disrupts everything. Look what's happened to Arsenal. Arsenal have got all these players, but I think there's something in their camp that's not right. There's something in their camp that's not right. Whether that's Arteta based because he thinks he's Pep and he can try and alienate players, but I don't know. But I don't want that to happen to us.
Listen, we saw that in the summer, Sam. We saw in the summer when Postecoglou came and said to these players, the Spences, the Regulons, the Ndombeles, Tangangas, go on loan. That to me says he doesn't want him in anywhere near that team. That's what I think.
Darius?
What more can you say about Ndombele? I'm just completely forgot he even existed. I forgot he was alive. Genuinely.
He's on 200 grand a week. We can't forget about him. He's our highest paid player.
Jude says he's got 1.5 years left on his contract. I think you got to ride the contract, bro. He ain't going to turn it down.
No.
Because I've seen rumors that Spence is already being put up for sale, so he ain't going to really have a say. Regular, I'm a bit worried that he actually might become a part of the squad. Am I against that? Don't know yet. But you know what it is? If it's going to be the same old, where are we going to get ourselves? I'm not going to say anything too quickly because, I've seen positive things, but then again, these things also seeming to now have a bit of issues. So, you just got to be patient. We don't know anything really and truly. We're just speaking on a matter, but we have no idea what's going on, what's being said, who's being spoke to. For all we know, all these players could be in and out in the next week, or we could be looking at trying to incorporate them back into our squad because of certain people missing for international competition. So, what do you say? What do you actually say? And Ndombele going to be back in a Spurs shirt again? That's crazy.
Okay, £3 million we're going to pay him in wages.
How much?
Between now, $3 million in wages between now and the 15 months.
And no one's going to buy him. We might be lucky that we could offset him and pay some of his, because I think that's the deal that we've had anyway with him, having to pay some of his wages just so he can go on loan. I don't. Why would anyone buy him? Why would they? He's not showing anything, and he's costing 200 grand a week. So we are stuck with him. Again, as much as we want to just be like blasé and say, "Oh, we got to go into the transfer market. Why don't Spurs do this? And what's Danny Levy doing?" We are hampered when you are paying somebody what Darius just said, 3 mil. Was it 3 mil?
It'll be 3 mil if he sees his contract out for the next 15 months.
It'll be more than 3 mil.
No, it's 200 grand a week.
Yeah, it'll be more than 3 mil.
Oh, sorry, no, not 3 mil.
I was going to say it's got to be more than 3 mil. It's got to be more than 3 mil.
I tell you what it'll be.
It'll be a lot more than 3 mil. It'll be 3 mil just this month, mate. Just why we tried to find him a new club in January.
I'll tell you how much it is. That's 200
times 4 times 15.
12
mil. Yeah. 12 million pounds.
12 mil. PRTv maths right there, boys and girls. Or G says 15.6.
No, it can't be. If he's on 200 grand a week, that's 4.
I'm saying 75 weeks.
It's 12. Yeah.
Look, guys.
Anyway.
About 15 mil. About 15 mil, depending.
Madness.
15 million pounds.
And here we go. Jeez, nuts did the math. 15.6. I said about 15 mil. He said 15.6.
Ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. Ndombele is the worst signing in Premier League history. Ever in the Premier League.
Might be.
There's a couple that's in there. I think Anthony's not far behind as well.
He ain't far.
United.
He's got 0 goals. 0 goals and 1 assist in 29 games, I think.
And he cost
they've given Martial an extension as well.
And Martial's not doing too well either, but we've got our own problems. Okay. We know that it's not. So do you see any of them other players then, before we finish off this bit and then do the prediction, do you see any of them players, like the loan players? Because Rodon, is he still out on loan? He's still out on
Yes,
loan, isn't he?
he's at Leeds. He should be
Region,
coming.
Tanganga, Spence. We've already talked about Ndombele. Scarlett, we know, has come back. It's probably somebody I've missed here as well. So I know there's a few players back. And the reason I'm saying that is when it leads into our next section is about players that we're expecting. I want to see, if we are going to have these loan players, someone like Region, play him at left back in this FA Cup game. Not to say we're going to play all these other players, but play him in this, because we can't afford to lose a doggy for any length of time anymore.
Correct.
It doesn't look like Ryan Sessegnon's going to be back anytime soon.
Don't want him back.
And I'm saying the same thing about the centre-backs. One of them two, either Ben Davies or Royal, as much as I've maligned Royal, Ange Postecoglou trusts him. He's trusted him 100% to play in that centre-back role. Dyer, who's going to play? Let's just do a quick team. My team is Vicario in goal. I'm going Royal at right. No, I'm not going to play him at all now. I'm going to go with
Royal's
Porro.
definitely playing.
I'm going to go with Porro. I'm going to go with Dyer, and I'm saying that I'm going to go. Oh, look who's joined in! Look who's joined in! What are you, that fam? What?
Yeah.
We all got hoodies on. This is amazing. I'm enjoying this already.
PVP's in the house. Welcome, pal. Yeah, this is we'll just for the last bit of the prediction bit. So the team I'm going with, and we'll all do this. I'm going with Vicario, Porro, Dyer, Davis, Region, Bentancur, Lo Celso, Skip, or Højbjerg. Højbjerg. I'm going to go with Højbjerg in there, and the front three I'm going to go with Gill, Richarlison, Johnson. I'm not even putting Kulusevski in there. I'm going to keep putting Kulusevski off. That's my team. Darius? It's not nice, is it? It's not
Just
nice.
looking at the squad, and I'm seeing Region in a Man U shirt and Jed Spence back in a Tottenham shirt. It's crazy. Vicario probably will start. Porro, Royal, Davis. Dyer might be going to flipping Bayern Munich, by the way, which is, if we have to talk about that, we can talk about that. But the same guy who caused absolute hell for Harry Kane, that Pletty, whatever his name is, Florian Pletty, I can't remember his name. He's saying that Dyer and Bayern Munich could be a thing. So I'm going to go Royal, Ben Davis. Udoji's going to have to play. Unfortunately, I don't think Reguilon's going to come straight into the team. Then I'm going to go really quickly. Bentancur's going to get like 50 minutes. So we'll go Skip, Bentancur, Lo Celso. Then we'll go Kulusevski, Johnson, and Richarlison, I guess. This is sad. I need our players back, man. I need Van de Ven. I need Madison back.
This is the problem. We can't risk players. But as I said, I don't even want to play Bentancur tomorrow. But if we don't play him, our midfield would be just absolutely ridiculous in terms of what we can know. Pav, I'll come to you then. What's your team for tomorrow?
Tonight,
tonight, guys. I'm going to say it's Sam's team, except I'm going to change Gil for Kulu.
Okay. And would you swap them on the wings then? Would you put Ben Johnson? Would you put Johnson on the other side?
On the other side, yeah.
Okay. Sid, you're going to be at the game today, and you're normally pretty good at this. So what's your lineup?
You know what? How important the FA Cup is going to be to Tottenham, and Postecoglou will depend on what he does tonight. And for me, does he go with Forster or does he go with Vicario? Yeah, if he goes with Forster, then but I don't think he will. I think now, if he was the Carabao Cup as well, I think Forster. But my team will be Vicario in goal, Destiny left back, Emerson Royal at right back, because Pedro Porro needs a break. Man, he's played every game.
That's why I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah. So I think Emerson Royal at I think Phillips and Dyer in the middle. And then I'm going to... Sorry, not Phillips and Dyer. Phillips and Davis in the middle. not Dyer. Phillips and Davis in the middle. Phillips has to have a game now because he's already said that he's coming up. He's playing. Blah blah blah. He's fit. So then that middle, Bentancur, Celso. I said skip, right? But my son reckons it's going to be Højbjerg, so I'm going to go with Højbjerg because I think he'll start Højbjerg over skip. And then Kulu on the right, Johnson on the left, and Richarlison up top.
Interesting.
Should win.
Interesting.
That should win.
That should win.
It's all very interesting.
Or I'll even throw in a wicked one, and Donnelly starts somewhere.
No way. I wish. I absolutely wish, but I don't think that's happening.
You never know. But I think I said it'll do that.
Now there's 9 days between obviously when we play today and we play Man United next week Sunday at Old Trafford. There's nothing to be fearing about going to Old Trafford, by the way, but you do want to have your best team available where possible. So the FA Cup for me, there's enough rest in between to play your strongest team. But you said it right, Sid. Porro pretty much played every minute of every game. I don't remember him not starting for ages. Udogie, if he's available, does exactly the same. Vicaria, we know, is going to play every game. Where is there a rest available? Would you rest him today? I don't think I would, because I don't want to see Optimus Prime. I don't want to see him.
No,
sorry,
no.
I don't want to see him.
And in phases.
Yeah, man, it's too many phases. But the centre back is a massive issue. It's a massive issue. I want to see one of them centre backs, but he's obviously got less faith in them than even I thought he had less, because we ain't seen them. Not even when we were 3-0 up? We was 3-0 up. We didn't see a centre back come on. I don't think he's playing them. Score predictions then for the FA Cup before we move on to transfers. I'm going to say Spurs 3, Burnley 1. Sid.
I think it'll be 2-1 to Spurs.
Pav.
2-1.
Darius.
2-1. I was also going to go 2-1. I'm not even going to try and be different. 2-1.
Everybody said 1. Everybody's had to put a 1 on there because they know what our team's like. But everybody's put us as scoring at least 2 goals. So that's a positive. We should win this game. If we don't win, today, then that chatter starts again. You know, is our Spurs? You know, the people in the chat are going to start. Have we got enough in the squad depth? Is Postecoglou the right? You know what I mean? It all starts again. But the actual game itself will be an open game because I don't think Burnley are going to play any differently than what we've seen before. Cool. Let's have a look at a couple of chats in here. We've got some old people coming back. Oi, One Touch TV. Oi, my people. Big up the panel, man. Like Sam, thank you very much. One Touch. It's been a minute. Last time we spoke, you man were winning the league at Chelsea. You look decent this year, though. You look decent this year. Up until a week ago. But that's another story, people. Nervy 2-1, choosing us to say. Right. Transfers. I don't like talking about Spurs transfers because Sid made me start thinking differently about transfers probably about 18 months ago or so, when he told me, don't watch that. Don't even think about it. Just wait till they do that. And that's what I'm now thinking I need to do, because I've seen all this. Oh, Dragon-san, the deal's done. We're there. He wants Spurs, did he? Then I mean, other people are coming in for him. The agreement's not right. This is typical media stuff. Let's have it real here. We need centre backs. But what else do we need? Pav, what else do we need? And do you think we're going to get the players that Ange Postecoglou needs? Because again, he's very, very careful in what he says. I'm not involved in the deals, mate. Of course he's fucking involved in the deals. He knows exactly what's going on. But he's obviously doing the thing where I'm not going to say too much, because either he doesn't want to put too much pressure on the board, or he doesn't, keeping things close to his chest. Who's coming in? Is anybody? Pav?
Yeah, we will. We'll get someone. Well, centre back's obviously a priority, and then I think a left back potentially, but centre back obviously that's the main thing. And like you, Sam, I've been seeing all these rumours about getting a centre back in, and then apparently it's been hijacked by Napoli, something along those lines. So you can't believe anything at the moment that's in the media until Spurs announce it. These are all just BS stuff, okay? But I think we'll get someone. 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 We'll get someone we need to spend some money, and it can't be spending money here or there on random players, and then them players playing for a bit, and then them going out on loan, and then blah 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 always happening. It needs to be good spending. So that being said, let's see.
That's exactly the point. That being said, that's all the right things, but we know what goes on in this club, and this is Sid. I'm going to let you speak. Sid, what's your thoughts?
So my thoughts are, somebody went to Daniel Levy's office with a piece of paper, slid it under the door, knocked on the door, and played knock on door run, and left. Right? Daniel Levy's looked at that list and he just went, screwed it up, and he's gone into the bin, and he probably missed the bin as well. In terms of transfers, right? Like I said to you, Sam, Postecoglou said, I want my signings early doors January, so I'm not pissing around until the end of the month. I've got them in, I've got them training, 2-week break, a week break. I've got them to the levels that I want them, to my formations, the way I want to play. Thank you very much. We're day 5 now. All the song and dance about Dragusin from Genoa. Nothing happening now. Apparently Bayern have now come in as well, and they're offering players, swap, whatever. Everything's agreed. I don't believe all that. And it's the same people rinse, repeat on Twitter, social medias, right? And everybody then follows it, and everyone gets excited. We know Postecoglou's already said it, what he wants. It's down to Daniel Levy now. If you believe what they said, they wanted 25 to 30 to 35 million. We offered 27 million, 25 million. That's Daniel Levy. So I'm not holding my breath. I'm seriously not holding my breath. And I put it on the group, didn't I? I said, our new signings are going to be Spence, Reguilon, Tanganga, and Ndombele coming back. We're not gonna, because as much as he said, this is what I want, you're dealing with Daniel Levy here. So unless they pull something out of the bag, I've switched off on transfers. I'm not interested. I'm not bothered until they hold the shirt up, because Tapsoba deal's not happening because we're going for Dragusin, and we were never interested in Tapsoba. Now Kelly's another one, but we're going to look at him in the summer, and then they'll pull another name out of the hat. Forget about it until they hold that shirt. And the more we not talk about transfers, people can then start being realistic, because you put that into your head that we're going to get Dragusin, and then you start thinking, oh, him, that, there. And then you get let down, as every summer, every year. If you just don't think about it, and when they come to Hotspur away and they hold that top and say, Tottenham have just announced this signing, we get excited. So that's my thoughts on that, guys.
We have got FFP to think, FFP, whatever
FFP.
it is. Yeah, we have got that to consider, I guess, for all teams. January is a hard mark. I'm just trying to play a little bit of devil's advocate from the board's perspective. We should be getting players. The manager, as you said, Sid, stated, we need somebody in, we need bodies in, we want to try and get things. And I've heard all the rumors, we want to get things done. You see all the Paulo Keys, you see all the Romanos and all the rest of it saying, Spurs are almost done, it's going to happen in the first week. I know all this bullshit. I've seen it for many years. What do you think by the time the 31st of January comes around, Darius? Who will we have in, and what do you think we need? Because I think Pav mentioned about the left back. I think that's not a priority position for us. We need a midfielder because of the African nations. I think we need another midfielder. I can't rely on Højbjerg. I can't rely on Skip to a degree. Bentancur's just coming back from injury. That's it. We ain't got no more midfielders. Lo Celso, you can say he's a midfielder, but he's really that sort of playmaker creator. We need a box-to-box, because Sarr is so important. I think we're going to see the importance of Sarr if Bentancur doesn't play as many games. If Bentancur supplements him, I think we're all right. And if we can then suddenly get back someone like Maddison over the next few weeks, particularly for the either Brentford game or even better, Man United game, I can see us being all right. But 31st of January, who are we going to have in, Darius? And what would you like? Who would you like to see in?
Darius, just before you come in, sorry, did you see that thing about Fabrizio on social media? Somebody said to him, Fabrizio, you need to stop, because every time you're making a deal about Dragusin, deal agreed, personal terms agreed, this, that agreed, He said, and it's not happening. So why are you clickbaiting and telling people stuff that's not happening? And Fabrizio didn't like it. And he turned around and said, I'm just giving you information that I've got. So the guy said, why are you just rinsing and repeating it? You're repeating all your information. He didn't like it. He did not like it one bit.
Yeah. And expected, like, you know what it is? They have to make their own livings, their own money. There's a reason why they do that. They've built their reputation. They worked hard. So now his word is gospel. But I'll be honest with you, to answer your question, Sam, I'm quite nervous. I don't really know. I don't know who's going to come in. And seeing all these loan players come back, you got to think about doing that side of the business before you can bring the players in. So I'll be honest with you. And another thing that people aren't talking about, the lack of English players that we have in our team. I think that's an issue in terms of homegrown quotas needing to be filled. So for me, yeah, centre-back is a no-brainer. Todibo, Draggers in, Lloyd Kelly, whatever name you've been throwing out, Adebayo, I don't really care at this rate. I'm trusting Ange in his talent identification to pick out, with the help of Johan Langer and Scott Munn, to pick out the right players for the system. I'm not the expert at that. I don't know, I don't know the data. I don't know the little minute details that you need to find and see within players to choose them. But what I do know is we need a centre back. I do agree with Pav, we need a left back, but I think a midfielder is more important.
Oh yeah, I don't disagree with Pav about left back.
That's what I'm saying. I completely agree, and I've said we need a left back. But when you do look at the midfield, I don't trust Skip or Højbjerg at all. I don't even want to give him a chance. Like, I'm not one of those people that's like, let's see how they. No, they shouldn't be in the squad. They shouldn't be in the team. So for me, I think Conor Gallagher would be the perfect player. Some people may not like that because it's not a very fun name to hear, but he is pretty much English Saw when I watch him play. He does what Saw does for us for Chelsea, and it will come at a hefty price. So probably wouldn't want to pay that money, but
what
he would be
price
ideal for us.
What price? Because I've heard that
40 million, 45 million.
They want 50.
They want 50. How old is Conor Gallagher? Is anybody
23?
23.
Probably younger.
But what they're saying with Gallagher is he's one of their homegrown talents. He's now captain, and apparently I don't know how true it is, Darius, but he's turned around and said that I want to see out this year. I want to see out this season at Chelsea to see how far I can progress.
Of course he'll say that, but money talks, first of all, and second
50
of
million.
all, FFP talks.
Yeah,
They might have to sell him.
Will Daniel Levy pay the 50 million? No, that's the problem, isn't it?
Pay 47 for Brendan Johnson.
Yeah, no.
Pav's shaking their head. Why don't you think you'll pay that 50 million, Pav?
I just don't think he will. I don't think he'll spend that much money on him.
Yeah.
50 million, in my opinion, if Darius is right in terms of his age profile, 23.
He's 23.
Year and a half left in his contract, you said? Is it year and a half?
Right.
Is it 1 year?
I think it
He can't be ending this summer because he would definitely be more interested in that. Must be
Summer
at
of
least
2025.
It might be a year and a half, yeah.
Yeah. So I thought year and a half. That's reasonable in terms of the price. Now, this might sound a bit controversial and people might disagree, but in terms of an equivalence, I'd say an equivalence to someone like Declan Rice, in my opinion. Declan Rice has got the attributes to be a top player. I don't think Declan Rice is that creative spark that people think that Arsenal need, but he can certainly do the box-to-box. He can certainly play in the 6. He can be an 8, but he's not a progressive 8. What I mean by a progressive 8 is someone like Kevin De Bruyne. That's, to me, is probably one of the best examples. He can do everything. We're not going to see a Kevin De Bruyne. But Gallagher fills a lot of positions for us because he can play the 6. He can be part of the number 8. But then you've got someone like alongside him, like a Maddison. And that English-like contingency, I think, will actually work in our advantage. Why would Chelsea sell to us? Don't make any sense.
They need to.
But why would they sell to us? They need to sell.
This is not the same Chelsea. Like, I know they're going to try and hold the same morals, but
yeah, I agree.
Chelsea did dealings with Man City. They bought Cole Palmer for 45 mil. If the price is right, they'll sell.
This is us, and this is Pochettino.
It's business.
I know, and I would hold my hands up and say 100%. This is business at the end of the day. But if you can get Conor Gallagher for 40 to 50 mil, probably one of their best players this season,
I think that's a good price.
It's going to alert other teams. Surely that's going to alert. Manchester United would, if they had him,
they wouldn't be able to do that. They've got Mason Mount coming back from injury. Me, Conor Gallagher, if Conor Gallagher's smart, he's in the team because they've started the season with a lot of injuries. He would not have been in the team. I think Poch likes him, and I think Poch was surprised by him and his profile of just being able to be an absolute roadrunner and actually do a lot of things, you know, play the ball forward. He's first in a lot of stats for Chelsea. But at the end of the day, there's 3 positions in midfield, and Chelsea have Caicedo, Lavia, Enzo, Cole Palmer, and Nkunku, who also wants to play through the middle. That's 5 players I've named who, in my opinion, probably they're going to want to start ahead of him based off the fact that they're new players in the regime and the fact that, you know, these are, like I said, brand new players that they're going to want to incorporate into this squad. So Leslie as well. There's loads of there's too many midfielders for Conor Gallagher if he's smart enough to get regular game time. I think he's fortunate the fact that Lavia and Caicedo were injured at the start of the season, and I think he's proven that he's a good player, and I would take him. And if we're paying 47 mil for Brendan Johnson, Conor Gallagher for 45, 50 mil, I don't think is actually as crazy as people think.
I don't think he's crazy, but Toxic Headshot doesn't seem to think he's that great. Typical English overrated players like Rice, Gallagher, Saka, joke thing, man. Jews Nuts is saying, what I hate is pundits slamming Chelsea for thinking of getting rid of Gallagher. But a few years back, the same pundits, Kane must leave. They were trying to get him out the door. Tottenham need proper players. Gallagher's laughing emojis from Toxic Headshot. Now, Toxic, I am not saying that Conor Gallagher is the best midfield option that we could go for. However, if he's available, he fills a quota for us from that English player perspective. There's a lot of things that I think he does. I also personally, he's got international experience. He has been in the England squad, and I think that would help us in terms of certain players in our squad. I mean, James Maddison would benefit from that, and I think Conor Gallagher would benefit. Don't get me wrong. He isn't, and I'll use the name again, he's not a Kevin De Bruyne. He's not that player. You know what I mean? But does he fit the profile of what Ange Postecoglou wants? Pav, I'll ask you the question. Although Conor Gallagher might not be the sexiest name on the planet, would he be someone that you would want to see at Spurs?
Yeah, I think he'd fit under Ange's regime. Look, we're not going to know unless we actually get him, obviously, but we've seen how he plays and stuff, and I think I'm not going to say he's not a quality player, because I think he's a quality player and I think he would do well under Ange. But that being said, I know other people disagree because people think that he's overrated or whatever, but I think he'd work under Ange 100%.
Yeah, I think that's our role. Nobody expected Sarr to be so important for the team until he came out of the team. And I would, like I said, I would put my hands up and say that as well. He always looked good when he played under Postecoglou, but it was when he came out of the team I realized, oh, wait, is it maybe Sarr who's actually the important player in this midfield? And obviously Maddison is the star player, but I was thinking, you know, we gave Basuma all the credit at the start of the season, and he was having a good season, but Sarr was consistently playing well throughout that whole period. And you know, when he came out of the team, I realized how important he was. So I personally think while he's gone, and if you want to be an elite squad, you have to have 2 of every position. And I think Gallagher and Sarr would battle out quite well for that workhorse engine in midfield that you need. You need that if you're going to play the system we play.
I also think you need proper professionals. We did the and I keep saying we, but I'm going to say it from my perspective. I maligned Ben Davies for years. He's been at the club 10 years, but he's a proper professional. And people are saying that Efin Okoku is one of the people on a recent game. He said he thinks Ben Davies is probably one of the most improved players over the last 5 years because of that fact that he can fill various positions, because of the fact he don't moan. You don't hear him come out in no social media saying anything. And yet, he's probably been one of our better players, all forced upon us, yes. But you do need proper professionals in your team. All this star-studded, we need this player because he's great and he does this. Well, we've done that. We're paying one of them 200 grand a week who we thought was going to light up the world, and he's not doing anything but lighting up McDonald's stairways. So, you know what I mean? We've got to think about these things logically. Conor Gallagher
can we address a couple of the comments as well? Because looking at just what people are saying, Toxic, I get the goals and assisting, but for me, it's like, are you paying Declan Rice 100 mil to get goals and assists? No. Like, each role in each team is different. Maddison gets the goals and assists. Son gets the goals and assists. The forwards are responsible for getting the goals and assists. And midfielders need to be that engine to allow our front 4 to do what they can do. And then just what Eddie Ryan said, would he get ahead of Bentancur, Basuma or Maddison? I think Bentancur and Basuma are battling out for a spot. And I think Maddison's not battling out for a spot against anybody. So really, you're asking me, is he getting ahead of Sarr? No, but you have to rotate. And people forget, you've got to think about the future. We're going to be playing in, hopefully, if we finish in the top 4, we're going to be playing in more competitions next year. So this, so like, I don't understand sometimes. And I mean, you say Dewsbury Hall is a better choice, Toxic, but he's playing in the Championship right now. It's like, I don't know, you know, I'm a bit unsure on what people want from their signings. I don't know if they just want fancy names but yeah, like Sean said right there, it's all about it's not about the price. It's all about if they're going to fit the role, if they're going to be a good part of the squad. And Gallagher, for me, he shows the right attitude because he was not even part of the Chelsea squad. He still worked hard, and now he's a captain. So I'm agreeing to disagree with a few of the comments today, because I do think that we are just looking for fancy names and stuff. And when we realized that Sarr was signed for 18 million, now is a big name. Udogie again, loan back. Everyone was like, "Who is he?" Great player. These are the professionals. Pedro Porro was 45 mil. I understand that, but you know, it took him a while to get into it. These are the players that we need, but it's the mentality. These are all players who want to play for Tottenham.
Darius as well. When he was at Palace, remember he scored 8 goals and 5 assists as well. So when he was at Palace, he was scoring a lot of goals and assisting as well. So maybe Chelsea
don't score in general.
Yeah, maybe Chelsea at the moment with that team, and that maybe it's not the right fit for him to do the assists and goals. Like
he doesn't play high enough up for me all the time at Chelsea. If you watch Conor Gallagher play for Chelsea, he's pretty much doing everything in midfield in terms of that running. They've got Cole Palmer. And Cole Palmer, I've watched him. He does do a little bit of box to box, but he's primarily playing almost in that 10 position, almost like a second string striker. Yeah, but he's really good at that because he can pick the ball up on the half turn, similar to what Maddison does. Because remember, Maddison is that player that can come back. He can pick the ball up in our box, but he can also pop up in the front, in the attacking area as well, and be playing almost alongside Son. I see that sort of player in Cole Palmer for Chelsea. Conor Gallagher is more the Sarr sort of comparisons, and that's why, as you said, Darius, we need, because if you're playing that box to box as an 8, up and down, like the old days of Steven Gerrard, you have to be a machine if you're playing that. And the modern day footballers, unfortunately, we've seen us pick up too many injuries. Sean's here as well. Darius, Maddison has a deputy in Lo Celso.
I would go below deputy.
I'm enjoying this also at the moment, but I'm not gonna get too excited just yet. I want to see a bit more consistency, a little bit longer stretch. But yeah, I agree with you, Sean. He's the person that would probably fill in that role. Or Kulusevski, to be honest with you. I think Kulusevski is the deputy to Maddison, and
100%. So Darius, I agree. Kulusevski is the deputy.
And that's what I think about Kulusevski now. That's why I don't know if he might not.
That's why the wingers, you've got to look at wingers as well. There's so many problems still with the squad. And we can't really be angry because it's only been a year. It's only been one window. So
100%, I agree. We was going to do a bit more halftime, but since we've got a game next week and we haven't played our 21st game until next week, we'll probably do another talking points in between then. Let's try and do one next week. But I'm just going to try and wrap up. I'm going with Messi. He rates GLC. I'm going with Messi if he rates GLC as well. But we've seen with our own eyes that GLC can sometimes not quite look like he wants it. And that's what I think the attitude side of things is so important now. We get the players with the right attitude. As I said, going back to the players that I know that haven't got quite the attitude, I didn't think Lo Celso had the right attitude, but he's obviously shown that he has, and he has got the ability. So
I will also say though, and this is just, speaking from experience of playing football, when your team's winning or when the team that you're playing for is winning, everything does seem nice and rosy and it is all good. And I think if the team is winning, certain players won't mind potentially playing lesser roles in the team. Whereas, if the team's not doing well, you probably don't really want to be associated with that. So I think, as long as we're doing okay and as long as, they're making progression in their own, careers and skill sets, then I think Ange's improving them. And I think when they move on to different clubs, they probably will go as improved players, which is all you can really ask for as a player. If your coach is improving you, then that's worthwhile staying, in my opinion.
Cool. Well, like I said, we're gonna wrap this up now. We're gonna go around all of you and just get some final thoughts. We've already talked about predictions. I've got all your predictions, but how you're feeling going into this year? I'll start with myself. I think we'll win tonight. I think we'll progress into the 4th round. I hope we get a decent draw. What I'm looking forward to now is that they support this manager. They might not be able to get the players in January that they want, but don't tell him you're going to do that, because he's already come out before and said, yeah, mate, we're good, we're doing things, but I'm not part of it. But he's already saying, but I expected something to happen. So I expect something to happen. I don't think we're going to get this. What Dragonson's saying, unveiled at the stadium tonight. I don't think that's going to happen.
I hope, Juice. I don't think that's happening, though.
I don't think it's happening. So I think, 2024, we should look to support this manager. Get that centre back for this window. If nothing else, if we can't get a midfielder and we can't get a left back and we can't get a forward that we want, we have to have a bloody centre back. We have to. That's my thoughts. Pav, what's your final thoughts and what do you want to see for 2024?
This year, I'm bringing positive energy, okay? PvP is back now, okay? Not SPVP, PvP is back, okay? Today, we're winning, okay? We're going to turn up, not just parts of the game, we're going to turn up the whole game, okay? This is me manifesting now. And we're going to get a centre back, okay? This transfer window. Might not get anyone else that we want, but we're going to get a decent centre back. We're going to have a good season. We're going to finish in the top 4. Summer is not that far. We'll do some business there, but we're trusting and we're getting behind, and he's doing bits. He's part of this rebuild. Let's go.
Yes, Pav. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Not the sometimes business. We dumped the sometimes positive. We dumped it. We're on positive. Positive vibes, Pav. That's what I like to see. Hoodies in effect. That's it. Yeah. Final thoughts and your expectations for this year for Spurs.
Do you know what? We do what we do today. Go to the stadium, win the game. Postecoglou's probably got the same mindset. Turn up, win the game. Then we move on to next week and worry about Manchester United. For the season ahead, I just want January out of the way, because obviously, all right, we've only got 2 games, but we've got a lot of players missing. AFCON and Asia Cup and injuries. Start of February, hopefully, inshallah, as they say, we will get all of them back and we go again. So get rid of January. I'm not even going to talk about the transfers because, like I said, until the holder's shirt's up, I'll believe. Seeing is believing, as they say. But do you know what? We carry on. We're not doing anything wrong. We carry on week by week. We're soldiers, and we go out there and we perform, and we take what we get and what we deserve every game. 3 points.
I'm going to come to you last, guys, but just G's nuts. Tottenham don't do well with RGs. What about the 2 most famous Argentines we've had? Ricky Villa and Osvaldo Ardiles. Are you crazy, mate? Are you crazy?
And Eric Lamela.
Eric Lamela. There's loads of Argentines that done well at ours. Come on. Toxic headshot again. Morgan Gibbs White or Jude Hall. Now, Morgan Gibbs White is a shout. We'll have probably
big shout.
That's a big shout.
We're just going to take all of Forest's mixed race light skin.
We're gonna go light skin city. We'll take them all.
Take all the Forest's star boys. Like, what's going on?
We'll take them all. Woo! Darius, your final thoughts and 2024. What's it looking like for you for Spurs?
I think it's looking positive. Whether we see silverware, I don't know. I hope, but I don't know. But yeah, I think looking forward, I think I'm gonna have to take this approach. And this is the transfer guru telling me to just, you know what, wait until you get that notification. When you hear it from Sid,
that's what you got to do. Sit back, take time out. When Sid and just all them programs that you used to do, forget that now.
No problem being deep in it, because we all know these people they're here for their own agendas. I'm hearing this same Fabrizio Romano is telling me that Bayern have agreed a deal with fucking Eric Dyer.
If you read the bit after it, it says it's all done and dusted, dependent on Spurs bringing in a centre-back. Well, Spurs have to bring in a centre-back before he can go. So we're keeping it.
I know what Spurs are. We're waiting to confirm the Dyer sale, and then we'll wrap up the Tottenham or Dragons and whatever you want to call it. Whatever deal it is. I don't, like you said, Sid, I don't give a toss. Yeah. I'm talking about Tottenham. You know what? to finish off, I think
we're not getting him. Sorry.
I think
I'm
we
sorry
will
to
just
bust it.
we'll just have to, you know, as Spurs fans, enjoy the fact that players are coming back. That's what I'm excited about. We have lost a couple to competitions that we can't do anything about, but players are coming back. And if we can get players in, I mean, we're in and around those top guys. If we can carry on how we started before that Chelsea game, I can't wait to see Maddison's feet touch that pitch again. I'm so excited. So I think it's a positive time to be a Tottenham fan, but we also have to remember to be patient.
Patience is the key. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment to PRTv PRTv Spurs. The game is on tonight. We ain't gonna do no reactions or previews because I know we said about the FA Cup, but we've got other things that we want to do. So next week,
If we draw Arsenal, though, we will.
If Arsenal,
imagine we draw. I'd love to draw Arsenal in the FA Cup.
Well, they've got to beat Liverpool first, and that's not a given. So yeah, like, subscribe, comment, Paxton Road TV. Look out for all these guys. Sid Spurs, Pav, Darius, all on X, Instagram, Facebook, whichever ones you can find them on. I'm sure you'll be able to find them. And we'll be back next week. Don't forget the game tonight. All important. I think it's an 8 o'clock kickoff, I do believe.
It is, yeah.
Or 8:15, something like that. And yeah, I think the biggest thing for me is we play well tonight. We get the win. I just want to see a little tweak in terms of some personnel because although we've got 9 days till our next game, yeah, a lot can change with one injury. All it needs is one injury, and then, you know what I mean? It could be a long day. So Bentancur's the one. I've got to try and protect him, but I think he's got to get some minutes under his belt. Anyway, that being said, thank you all. There's comments here from Toxic. Well done, Sean, for getting down to the game and being able to jump on this and just have a chat as well. Jews Nuts, Callum Roach, not seen you before. Welcome, Callum, in the house. Floyd Jarrett as well. So there's a few people. Make sure you smash that like button, share, and all the rest of that stuff. Pav, Darius, Sid, I believe that's it. Time to go. Sid needs to go, and he's a little bit late. So I've got to find the music. I didn't do that properly last time.
I've got it. Do you want me to put it on?
No, fam, I want to put it on. It's my bloody show. When it's your show, you do the music. I'm doing it on my show.
You found it.
I have found it. Where is it? Actually, I'm lying. No, I'm not. I'm going to use another one. No. Oh, it's at the right at the bottom.
It's right at the bottom.
Oh, yeah, I see it now.
We're
arguing about who wants to put the music on. It's my show. Anyway. That's enough now. Pav, you're on mute. What did you want to say?
No, I was going to say, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. All right, then. That's it. See you later. More developed.